guys, it's Mrs. Leggett. We're going to start our experiments for the week. This goes along with the MOSA MAC make activity. So we did the solve last week. Now this week for the make activity that's assigned to you, you can go into it in MOSA MAC. There should be kind of a little slide presentation that you look at the pictures and read along. And what we're doing this week is some experiments to see how different activities and different things that happen in the world, how they affect different the different Earth spheres, and how those spheres interact with each other. When I say Earth spheres, of course, I'm meaning the atmosphere, the biosphere, the lithosphere or geosphere. We kind of use those interchangeably. That's all the rock stuff. And then, what am I not saying? The hydrosphere, the water. Okay, so our first experiment is a coal mining experiment. Now for this, you can either just watch this and make your own predictions, or you can do your own experiment at home. Here's what you need. You need either a plate or a napkin. You need at least 2 toothpicks, and then you need either a homemade chocolate chip cookie or a Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookie. Now I have neither of those things, but I do have a little brownie that is a chocolate chip brownie that has, see the chocolate chips in it? That's what I'm using. So if you have something else that has chocolate chips in it, that would probably work. It will work best if you can get a Chips Ahoy cookie or a regular chocolate chip cookie. Anyway, here we go. Okay. We're pretending like this represents, this is the earth, this is the ground, okay? Or the earth's crust, I guess you could say. And then the little chocolate chips are representing bits of coal. Now you guys know what coal is. It's that black rock stuff. And let me explain more about what that is so that you have an understanding of why we mine coal, why humans mine coal, and what we use it for. So coal is a type of rock, like you know, made from the compressed, so squeezed together pressure over time, the compressed remains of plants and animals that existed millions of years ago. So things that are down deep in the rock, layers of rock in the Earth's surface, things that used to be alive, their remains have carbon in them, and that becomes coal over time. Coal takes millions of years to form. So when we burn it for energy, it takes millions more years to renew itself. Because it takes so long to renew, that's why we call coal a non-renewable resource, meaning it doesn't just magically reappear, right? Once it's used up, it's gone. So there's only a certain amount in the earth, and then more has to be made. So coal is used for energy in many places, and for example, in the United States, a lot of places use it for electricity and for some other things, sometimes for heat. You guys have seen those coal burning stoves. In order to get coal, it has to be mined or dug out of the ground. Surface mining involves power shovels, large trucks, and excavators that strip and dig away the top layers of the soil. Underground mining involves digging and making tunnels. So today we're going to study the impact of coal mining, what it has on the surface of the earth. So this is what you're going to do in your notebook. Now you might have to pause it for a sec so you are seeing what you're writing down. This is what I want it to look like. So go ahead and pause the video. It should say Earth spheres, coal mining, because that's the experiment we're doing today, coal mining. Now there's a before and an after picture. You're going to draw a picture of your cookie before, when it's still intact with all its chocolate chips. You're going to draw what it looks like before. Then you're going to set your timer. You're going to start mining the chocolate chips no longer than 5 minutes, okay? No longer than 5 minutes. And what you're going to do is not using your fingers. You are using 2 little toothpicks to dig out as much of the coal or the chocolate chips as you can. And you're trying to do it as neatly as possible to get it out without ruining your cookie, okay? So after you're done, you're going to draw a picture of what it looks like after. And then the 2 questions I want to see in your notebook are, what happened to your cookie? And what spheres are impacted by the mining of coal? What impacts that? So I'm going to start mine for a sec. I'm going to see what happens. I'm not going to do it for 5 minutes. I'm just going to do it for a couple here. See, already they're not coming out very cleanly, and I'm getting some of the... I'm just going to do a couple, and then if you want to fast forward it, I'll show you what my brownie looks like. It doesn't have as many chocolate chips as probably a Chips Ahoy cookie, and because it's not as hard as a Chips Ahoy cookie, it comes out a little bit softer. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like, so that if you're not doing this at home, if you want to just use mine as you can to draw, here's what it looks like now. So I didn't get them out very cleanly. I did chip away quite a bit of the brownie, and the brownie, it doesn't look very neat now. It looks kind of broken up. So go ahead and draw that if you'd like to. Now, I want you to talk about what happened to the brownie, and I want you to think about what impacts that has on the earth. So right now, I'm going to have you pause the video. I want you to write down, if you're doing the experiment at home, you can stop the video now and do your experiment, and then you can write down what different spheres you think are impacted, and then come back later, restart the video here at 6 minutes 45 seconds, and listen to what I say about, and see if you got kind of a same response. I'm going to tell you a few answers of how the earth is impacted by that coal mining, which spheres it impacts, that is. Okay, so after you've made your predictions, here's some of the possible answers. Let's see. Okay, coal mining affects the geosphere, or the lithosphere if you wrote it, because soil layers are stripped away in the surface mining and in underground tunneling. Coal mining impacts the biosphere, so that's all the living things, because sometimes habitats are destroyed by mining equipment, or it impacts the plants and animals that once thrived in the area. When coal is burned, when we burn it for energy, it releases emissions or gases into the air, such as methane and carbon dioxide, that can negatively impact the atmosphere. These emissions have been associated with global warming. So lastly, coal mining can also impact the hydrosphere, the water, because depending on where the coal mining is taking place, there's erosion that can happen, and loose sediment can be carried to waterways nearby, and it can affect the animals and plants that live in those waterways, and how clean those waterways are. They can get contaminated, and they can get oil from the mining equipment that washes into the water. So those are some possible answers. You need to list at least 2 spheres that are impacted by coal mining. So that was our first experiment. Hopefully you got to get a cookie and follow along. I will post the next days, and I'll have them listed in order. Okay, see you later. Bye.